Hello, this is Ronnie, and I'll be discussing my homework with anatomy identification of three panoramic x-rays. So an easy way that I did it is I just put numbers there, and I'll be pointing using my cursor here, if you can see. I hope you see it. So I have my cursor here, and then I'll just be pointing where I'm talking at, or where I'm referring to. So first, I have my number one, which is the styloid process, which is a thin, pointy, radio-opaque bony projection closely seen between the spine and the ramus. So it's between them in a panoramic x-ray. So you can see that it's a pointy bone projection right there. That's number one. Number two, so we're going to move to the incisive foramen, which is a round or oval-shaped radiolucency apical to the maxillary central incisors. And then number three, we're going to move to the mandibular condyle. So you can see the mandibular condyle here. And it's a radio-opaque round end of the mandible. And it's lateral to the maxilla. Right there. So the maxilla is right here. It's just below on the side of the maxilla. That's the mandibular condyle, number three. Then number four, we're going to move to the nasal septum, which is a radio-opaque, which means white, and radio-opaque line located in the center of the nose, superior to the maxilla and the central incisors. So it's just above the central incisors, just a white line here. So that's the nasal septum. We're going to move to number five, which is the infraorbital foramen. Foramen means hole, so a hole should be radiolucent. And if you look here, there's a radiolucent hole or radiolucency there, which is kind of oval shaped. And so it's round to oval, radiolucency seen inferior to the orbit of the eye. So the orbit is around here and sometimes superimposed in the maxillary sinus. So the sinus is here and it's usually inside or kind of in the middle of the sinus. So radiolucency there. Okay, we're going to move to number six, which is the hyoid bone. So the hyoid bone is a free-floating bone right here, and it is a U-shaped radio-opaque body present bilaterally just below at the level of the inferior border of the mandible. So it's bilateral, both sides, and it's below the mandible. And you can see it's free-floating there. So that's the hyoid bone. Number seven is the mental foramen. And mental foramen is usually located below the premolars, and you can see it as since it's a foramen, it's a hole, it's going to be radiolucent. So it's a small radiolucent, or could be a circle or oval, located apical region of the mandibular premolar teeth. So you can see it here, number seven, which is the mental foramen. Okay, we're going to move to number eight, the coronoid process, which is right there. So you can see there's a little angle there. So it's a triangular shaped radio opacity seen as extension of the anterior border of the mandible. That's the coronoid process, number eight. We're going to move to number nine, which is the, where's my number nine? Oh, right there. So the external oblique ridge, which is it's pretty dense, so that should be radio opaque. As you can see, it's more whitish there. So it's a radio opaque band that extends downward and forward from the anterior border of the ramus of the mandible. So usually, yeah, you can see it there. It's a little thick, white band. Number 10 is the glenoid fossa. So you can see it there, number 10. Also called as the mandibular fossa. It is the depressed area where the mandibular condyle rests. So you can see the condyle right here. It could rest on that, and also on this other side, that's a condyle. It could rest on that glenoid fossa or the mandibular fossa. So it's a radiopaque since it's a bony, kind of thick bone, and it's seen as a concave radial opacity just superior of the mandibular condyle. So number 10, or glenoid fossa. So looking at this X-ray, it is that acceptable, but positioning can be improved by tilting the head to reduce the smile, and the maxillary molars seems or the mandibular molars also seems a little widened, but yeah, it can be improved by tilting the head to reduce that smile. Tilting the head up to reduce that smile. Okay, gonna move to the second one. So we're gonna start with 11, which is the anterior nasal spine, which is a V right there. You can see a V-shaped radiopaque area situated at the intersection of the floor of the nasal cavity and nasal septum. So that's number 11, anterior nasal spine. Number 12, we're going to move to number 12. Hey, there's the cervical vertebrae. So you can see those spiny projections on the side there of the panoramic X-ray. Usually you can see them because of improper positioning, or sometimes just can be fixed by just positioning too low, or yeah. Okay, that's number 12. Number 13, the external auditory meatus, which is a oval radiolucency is seen here, and it's superior to the mastoid process. So it's just a radiolucency for your ear. Number 14, we're gonna move to the glossopharyngeal. So 14, 15, 16, we're gonna talk about air spaces. So 14 is the glossopharyngeal airspace, which is a vertical going up, radiolucent band superimposed over the mandibular ramus. The ramus right here. So that's the glossopharyngeal airspace. Next would be the palatoglossal airspace, which appears radiolucent band located above the apices of the maxillary teeth. Right, so it's around, you can see number 15 here, that's the palatoglossal airspace. And you can see it here too. That's the airspace right there. Not only these, but also this one. All right. And then number 16 is the nasopharyngeal airspace, which is a diagonal radiolucent band located superior to the radiopaque shadow of the soft palate and uvula, which we can't see as much here, but it's around this area right here, radiolucent band. And then 17 is the big maxillary sinus right there, which is a radiolucent structure because it's just an airspace as well, and usually it's above the maxilla and above the, you can see it above the molars of the maxilla, excuse me. Number 18 is the mandibular canal, or inferior alveolar canal, which is a canal that runs through here, and then it's a radiolucent canal or line bordered with radiopaque lines, which runs from here to the around the premolar area under apices. Number 19, right there. So number 19 is nasal conchae, and they are small bony projections seen as radiopaque structures. So you can see it, number 19 here. Number 20 is the coronoid process. Right here, number 20. So it's also called as the sigmoid notch. It's not as, it's hard to see here because it turns dark right away, but it's usually in between the condyle and then, coronoid notch or sigmoid notch. It's a radiolucent concavity located distal to the coronoid process and superior to the border of the ramus. So with this X-ray, the palatoglossal airspace covers the maxillary anterior roots. So the way you can fix this is putting the patient's tongue on the roof of their mouth And then the smile kind of looks okay, but it can be improved as well. Maybe the patient position chin is too low, causing the spine, and also the spine is too pronounced on the image. So maybe because of the patient chin position as well being too low. We're gonna move on to the 21. 21 is the zygomatic process. You can see here, which is like a J or a U shaped radiopaque structure located superior to the maxillary molar, right there. So it runs right there. Then number 22 is the mental fossa. They're right there, the mental fossa. It's like a radiolucent area present above the mental ridge. Okay, so it's like a radiolucent. See here. It's hard to see because there's whiteness there, but above, and it's the mental fossa, number 22. So 23 is the genial tubercles, which is a ring-shaped radiopaque structure that surrounds the lingual foramen. So I can't see the lingual foramen, so they are just bony, small bony projections here as well. Number 23. 24 is the hamulus. Where did my hamulus go? Oh, there it is. So hamulus is seen as radiopaque. It looks like a hook to me right there. It's a little small. 24. Not sure if I was pointing with my pointer there, but 24 hamulus, hook-like projection located in the maxillary tuberosity area. Right there. And it's like a hook, small hook. Number 25, the zygomatic cotemporal suture. So a suture joins two bones. It joins the zygomatic arch and the temporal bone. And since it's a suture where we can see it as a radiolucent line right there, number 25. And I got mixed up with 26 and 27. I already said incisive foramen, so I'll just take it off here and I'll put it number 26 as the lateral pterygoid plate. So it's just the lateral pterygoid plate occurs as a radiopaque projection of bone next to the maxillary tuberosity region. So it's just right about here. So that's the lateral pterygoid plate. And then we're going to move on to number 27, which is the incisive canal. It can be also known as nasopalatine canal. And is a radiolucent tube-shaped area between the maxillary center and anterior. So it's kind of in the nose as well. All right, so mastoid process is next, which is number 28. So it's just right there. Mastoid process is a prominence of bone kind of close to the TMJ, temporomandibular joint. So it's a little rounded too. And then 29, we're going to move on to the zygoma. Zygoma 29 is right there. It's a kind of triangular radiopaque band structure extending posteriorly from the zygomatic process. So let's extend right there. And then 30 is the infraorbital canal, which is very cool because you can actually see it here. So that's radiopaque line, or I mean radiolucent line right there. So basically it's a radiolucency line that resides on the around that maxillary sinus area, leading to the infraorbital canal. So that's the infraorbital canal, or it leads to the infraorbital foramen. I'm sorry. So okay. So to fix this panel, what can be improved? I'd say the smile is there again. So probably the patient chin is too low. So maybe adjust the patient chin, and there's a little bit of shadowing as well. It's not prominent, but mostly to fix that positioning of the patient. And that's it.